Hey HappiCrew, HappiDaze here. In today's video, we're taking on the latest TM. Apologies I haven't been posting for a couple days. I had to go to 30 multis on the S-Snake banner, and after the grinding out that we were doing for the previous event, I was kind of burnt out. So obviously we're back now. We do have the full boosted team, so that's going to be what this run through is going to show you, how we're using our team to get through this, including the intrusion battle that we do. So again, we're using the units of S-Snake, we're using the new S-Hawk, the new Jinbei, and those units, and of course the units that just came out for the global anniversary as well, with the Lucci and Luffy and the Kaku and Zoro. So we'll kind of walk you through it, show you how we do these teams. You really don't need that many supports if you have this batch, so that's the good news here. So let's get into the intrusion fight first. This is the team that we're using. As you can see, we're using the S-Bear and S-Hawk there to kind of get through a bunch of the nasty stuff with the damage reduction. S-Hawk can help with damage threshold. We're using the S-Snake as our friend captain. Of course, we're going to have our S-Snake is going to switch in with the ability of the Luffy and Lucci that's there. It's really helpful to have them for special reverse. They just help get rid of a lot of that nasty stuff, so you don't have to deal with it. And what you really need is either someone to be able to get rid of the orbs, or be able to get rid of the debuff for certain orbs having, an attack down, which is what you'll see on stage 2. So going into stage 2, again, we don't have any supports on the units. We don't need them. Which is good. We're going to end up using the super switch of the Zoro and Kaku unit. Get him into his quick form. That way we get type advantage. Go ahead and use the special to go ahead and remove the debuff there. The super switch actually gets rid of the defense too. Sets defense to 0, which is awesome. And then all we have to do is use the S-Bear there to be able to get through that without too many problems there. So yeah, we do that pretty easily. As you can see, we pretty much were able to tap on that stage. Tons of damage. Really won't have to worry too much about any of the battles going on. So yeah, let's just go ahead and... Oh, sorry, it was S-Shark, not S-Bear. I don't know why I was calling the Seraphim there for Jinbei S-Bear, because that's Kuma. So sorry about that. It's been a long day, but we still go on. So we're going to use the Super Switch ability of the Lucci and Luffy character there. We're going to swap them so that we have the S-Snake in our leader position, then use the special there. Then we can use the S-Hawk special, and then go ahead and use the S-Snake special and super type to be able to get, just basically all the badly matched orbs, as well as just getting a bunch of damage there. So it works out really well. Like I said, in this team, the S-Hawk is actually not the recommended characters, so you can actually replace that unit with anything. He's just there because he's a point booster, gets us a ton of good stuff, and gets us where we want to go. So there we go. That gets us through that first fight there. Nothing kind of too crazy on the intrusion battle. This team should last for well past where I'll go grinding. So as you can see right now, I'm about 8.5 million points roughly. So just an absolute ton of points there. So that being said, now that we get the intrusion boss done, we'll go ahead and get through some of these mini bosses. Just get a little bit just to actually get there. Love landing on the growing spots and just getting a bunch of stuff. Obviously, they don't give that much at the beginning, but once they start getting up to like level 40, 50, 60, you can get almost like, in some cases 80, 90, 100,000 just by landing on them, which is quite a bit. Considering you don't get very many from the mini bosses there. So always good to have, especially if you're trying to get higher ranks. So yeah, always good. So here we go. Now we're going to face all the mini bosses here. I'm going to do Edison and Pythagoras first. This is the team using Vegapunk. He's the recommended character. It works out really well. We recently got his Super Evolution Skull, so make sure that you Super Evolve the character to get the character that you see as our captain here. Really, you just need one of them. So if you can find a friend captain, that's good enough for what you'll need. You don't need both. But what he really does, he lets you take care of the bomb debuff that you get on the final stage there. And then everyone else is just Dex Cerebral units that are boosted. That way you kind of get the most points for facing this mini boss. So stage 1, just tapping, nothing kind of too crazy there. Same thing for stage 2. Awesome, love to see that. So going into the boss stage, as I mentioned, Edison and Pythagoras are going to end up giving you a bad buff for bomb slots and changing your slots to bomb. Doesn't matter, we'll use the Vegapunk unit there to help remove that debuff. and then just use the rest of our units to go ahead and, give us, a bunch of different orb boosts and attack boosts and all that fun stuff just to be able to get through the characters. Now, this is the team that, like, I feel pretty confident, like, this team will last me throughout the whole run. I won't have to change the team at all. Again, if you really want to, you could swap the Nami and Carrot unit there for more damage. But yeah, you can see, like, one tap was more than enough to take him out, so really, you don't have to really worry too much there. So yeah, there we go. Edison and Pythagoras are taken care of. Again, this team required no unique supports on them. We try to build teams that didn't require any unique supports, and just use pretty much the recommended characters that they give you there. So I'd love to see that. Going into Atlas here for the fight, they want you to use the Aokiji here. Again, you only need one, you don't need two, so if you can only get a friend captain one, that's completely fine. And basically, I'm trying to get quick units so we get type advantage, as well as some free spirit units on there as well, so I just get a bunch of buffs there. So nothing too crazy on these first two stages. Again, a lot of these mini bosses are just tapping the first two stages and just getting through them pretty quickly. So that's what we're going to end up doing here. Again, we're using the Ace and the Bad Time Luffy just to do a bunch of fun damage there, a bunch of attack boosts. We use the Wiper unit at the bottom there, who will help us basically swap the middle row orbs to Tandem, I believe it is, and do a little bit of damage to the boss, but really not really much. And then obviously Boa and the Sisters are just giving us some attack boosts. So here we go, final stage. You do have the nasty debuff with the chain limit there if it's not past a certain mark. So the Aokiji just allows you to get through that, right? So that's why he's such an awesome character. And basically by using also the Luffy, you're able to get a bunch of rainbow orbs, just do a bunch of more damage. So again, we don't have to worry about swapping this team until the very end, and it works out very, very well, very swimmingly. And you'll see here, the weakness for the boss is free spirit. So again, you want to kind of build teams that are quick free spirit, and that way you kind of get buffs from both the Aokiji unit there, as well as, getting the weakness advantage there at the final stage. So Atlas was pretty easy to get through, nothing kind of too crazy there. Going into the third fight, we're going to end up taking on Lilith here. Again, we're using the recommended characters here, and then also some characters who are Dex. That way we get the type advantage, and also who are boosted. So in this case, like the Brook that I'm using here, he's not even needed. Like, I can't even use his special. So you could obviously replace that with any other Dex unit that is a high point booster. But I was just trying to get all the high point booster teams. Basically, for this stage, what you really need is the Jinbei to help get rid of the bind, the other units to get rid of the despair. So you'll see when we get to the final stage, the nasty debuffs that are there. Frankie can also help get rid of some of the debuffs too. So that's why it's kind of awesome to have him on the team in case something doesn't work out too well there. You can always use him. Plus, he gives some damage buffs as well. So here we go, getting into the final stage here. Lilith will bind the bottom row for a bunch of turns, which is always just a giant pain to deal with. In this case, I do have the Chopper and the Robin unit there, but you don't want to actually switch them, because if you do, then it will actually put a blue shield, which isn't as good of a blue shield as what Jinbei provides. He ends up giving a shield that will help survive the death hit, so that's why it's kind of critical to be able to use him. So you can see, I used the Frankie in that case to help get rid of the Despair, and the Jinbei and the Captain there to get rid of the Bind. Boom! There we go. Was pretty straightforward, pretty easy to kill them. Tank the death hit, only taking 16k damage, so again, we could probably enter this team. I think at the end, I'll put some more supports on this team just to give them a little bit more damage. This is the only team out of the 4 mini-bosses that I feel may not last to, like, level 100, 150 plus. So yeah, it's just good to note that. And then the last fight we're going to do here is against Shaka. So they recommend to have, obviously, the Luffy and the Lucci, as well as the Stussy. In this case, you could actually swap the positioning of the Luffy and Lucci with Stussy, and have them be the captain throughout the whole thing. Completely fine to do that, and you might even do a slight more amount of damage, but this is just how I originally had it set up. So the friend captain here is going to be the Stussy unit. And of course, we're only using one, so if you don't have Stussy here, if you can just find a Stussy friend captain, that's more than enough to get through what you need to get through. Again, we're just tapping on stage 1 and 2, nothing kind of too crazy there. The Hina, the Carrot, and the Nami Karina there are really just there to do some extra buffs. Again, nothing kind of too crazy there. So first, we're going to end up using the swap of the Luffy and Lucci unit, that way we can get him as the captain. You have to do that because you get the special bind that's put on your team. It's just a pain to deal with. Of course, if you want to have have it so that you had Luffy and Lucci as your captain and friend captain, you can completely do that as well. Like I said, you only need one Stella. So if you do own Stella, you can actually have her, in the bottom right position and just do no for the captain switch when you do the super swap from Luffy to Lucci. Will work just as well. So either way you do it will work. Here you can see I'm using double Stussy captain, and then basically just using all the buffs here. If you do use the double Luffy and Lucci, then you do get some additional benefits of not having to worry about the special reverse because they stop that as part of their kit ability. So yeah, you can do it either way, but you can see one hit, more than enough to kill them. And Shaka goes down pretty easily, and again, this team will last easily to 100 plus. So those are the 4 mini bosses. Again, none of them are really like too crazy. I think Lilith is probably the hardest one just because of that death hit that she puts on there. But yeah, nothing kind of too crazy. This is the team that we're using for the final battle here, the boss battle. The one thing I had originally done is I didn't have the my S-Bear unit here fully level Limit Break Plus, so he didn't have the ability to do multiple specials. So what I ended up doing was throwing the Chopper unit on the on the Zoro and Kaku, which basically gives you 2 turns of damage threshold removal when you use the special, which we'll use on stage 2. And that means that you don't have to worry about having that S-Bear that I have in the bottom left there level limit break him. You can completely not have to worry about that. Or if you do level limit break him, you can run his special 2-3 times and get around that way as well. However you want to do it, you can just do it multiple ways. So there we go. We did the super switch to get the defense down to 0. Use the special to basically be able to just get a bunch of damage. Also trigger that ability of Chopper, that support Chopper, to get rid of the damage threshold. And then we're going to use the S-Bear unit at the bottom there just to help us get the Super Evolve Orb that we need to break through the barrier. And boom, 2 hit, we're able to get through. Nothing kind of too crazy. Going into the final stage, you do want to keep a special on your on the S-Shark there, just so you can use the special reverse ability of his. He has special reverse as part of his Sailor ability, and then his special reverses all the crewmates' special charges by 1. Which is perfect because you get your special around by 1 turn, so that's kind of what they want you to do. So go ahead and use that special there. Then we'll use the S-Hawk special, and then we want to use one of our S-Snake specials and Super Type to change all our orbs to Tandem to get rid of the block orbs, and then just get a bunch of damage there. You do want to save one of the S-Snake units that you have here, because on the revive, Vegapunk will throw a gold shield on, and the super type of the S-Snake will help you remove that shield. Get through that content really quickly, and then at that point it's a 1-tap. So whether you want to tap with S-Snake and just hit a bunch of times, or for the sake of this video I'm being a little bit quicker and just hitting with the unit there, like 1 tap is more enough to kill, and that will be perfect for X amount of levels all the way to as far as I feel like grinding. So that's going to wrap it up there for me today. As you can see, altogether with these runs with a full boosted team, I was getting, somewhere on the order of close to a million points, maybe like 1.5 million, just depending on what multipliers were there. But yeah, you can level up super quickly. So you can see at this point I was at 9 million. I was ranked 233, so this was earlier in the day when I recorded this video, so that's just kind of what it looks like. So hopefully this video helped you if you pulled a bunch of these units. Like I said, the good news is for these units, if you didn't pull the anniversary units in terms of the Luffy and the Lucci and the Kaku and Zoro, it's going to be much more difficult. But as long as you pulled those 2 units and you have a friend Captain S-Snake, like the TM should be pretty reasonable to get through, not too bad considering how we've had some TMs in the past. So that's going to wrap it up here. Again, thanks so much for watching. Again, apologize for not having a bunch of videos. I was just kind of a little bit demoralized after having to go to 30 to go ahead and get that S-Snake unit. At some point, I'll probably post the video after I edit out maybe some choice words and things like that might have been in there. But yeah, I don't know if I can bring myself to still watch that video now with how bad some of those polls were. So thank you guys so much. Let me know in the comments section below how your TM is going. Are you going hard for the grind this season? Are you going for top 500, top 1,000, top 5,000? Let me know what you're doing. Love to hear from you guys. As always, until next time, be kind to each other. Thanks.